Hello and welcome back to Fans United Podcast, the show where two clueless geniuses tackle all things Manchester United and a beautiful game. I'm Chris Henning, lifelong Red Devils fan and part-time armchair manager.
And I'm Graham, the apparent voice of reason, despite being mentally ill and very acerbic, which you could just believe is a fancy way of saying miserable, sarcastic sod. If you're looking for insightful football analysis, you've come to the wrong place. If you're here for two bucky just giving questionable takes and some light emotional trauma, welcome home! Now let's get this podcast started. Hello, and welcome to Fans United Podcast. We do that in the intro, so I don't know why I did that. I'm scanned the room 640 times like a peak Cole Palmer, and what do I see? I see Christopher Henning has returned.
Yep, hello, I am back. It is me, ready to moan and complain about football.
Yes, as we bring you back into our wonderful footballing therapy show where we charge nothing but leave you emotionally scarred. Isn't it great?
Completely emotionally scarred.
Yes. Tonight, we're going to tackle everything from grassroots football crises, whatever, however you pronounce that. Crises, to mega money drama in Trumpland and, yes, strap in.
Everything all in between. I think we'll touch on England's success in the Euros. And I suppose because it is Fans United, we will touch on the recent pre-season, not post-season. This is now the pre-season games, because post-season games are different from pre-season games.
How can you tell?
We've got what was it Luke said? A fitter, hungrier squad. I think that's the difference.
And he would know everything about hungrier.
And fit.
So what's on today's menu? We're going to talk about the plight of Banbridge Town Football Club here in Northern Ireland,
which is a lovely topic to discuss.
Isn't it? We're going to segue from the dire depths of that into the glorious glories.
Yes, and
I suppose
of teams overcoming adversity and winning things.
And of the Women's Euro final. Well, we'll talk about, as the boss says, Manchester United's recent visit into Trumpland and how we're doing over there. We'll talk about transfers, and I'll poke the bear that is Mr. Henning's biggest pet peeves.
Yes.
We've got Matty's mailbox, which we of course hope you've actually used this time.
You know what? Maybe we should get a jingle for Matty's mailbox, and that might get us.
Or any jingle I have for Matty's mailbox is not PC and not fit for purpose.
Not that type of jingle?
No, not that. And we will have a dispatch from Trumpland as we get Henning's report on the MLS, Orlando, American pitches, and what he believes the World Cup will be like for fans.
I don't know if that's the best abbreviation name that we should go with that, but a few interesting...
Canada, United States and Mexico. What's wrong? World Cup. It's there.
Maybe it's because we forgot Uruguay in there.
Is Uruguay in there?
Yeah. They're having the first game. Mental.
When did that happen?
When did that happen?
Anyway, there's more stuff we'll talk about the World Cup, if you wish. I mean, I'm just putting that extra U in there for you.
No, yes, interesting things about America, because I have to say I was mildly surprised.
Well, we will talk about your mild surprisation later, because first up, we're going to talk about the sobering tale of Banbridge Town Football Club. As some of you may know, I was coaching the under-12s. They have now progressed to under-13s, and that started up this week, training. But the senior club has, unfortunately, it's been revealed that they are suffering from serious financial crisis and a risk of folding entirely.
And this is a point where I was going to plead a little bit of ignorance to this, because you obviously are a little bit more linked with the club, with the coaching side of things. I obviously go to some games and heard whispers, very, very
Whispery?
whispers about a month ago, maybe before I went. And then the first I heard of it, whenever the statement came out regards to the new manager, I think 3 weeks after the new manager was there, there had to be a meeting with the club committee, and they had to officially apologise to him.
Yeah.
I don't know the ins and outs of that, but reading between the lines, I'm guessing maybe he was promised money to do things, and that wasn't there.
For the advantages of, that's probably not the right word, is it? No, it's not. I don't know. Oh, Jesus.
Where?
Oh, well, he could come down here on my lap and help at any time. He's inside me, apparently. Inside you, too. Probably should cut that out. in case this makes the Bible Belt. I don't know. Anyway,
yes. Is Ohio religious? Or?
I don't know, but to help people who aren't from Banbridge, Northern Ireland, one of our local clubs here, I say one because we have several.
Yeah, historically, we've got in Northern Ireland, we have our Premier League, we have our Championship, and then sort of below that you would have almost sort of like intermediate leagues that was sort of Taylor and Banbridge in its history has been in and around the championship level at its peak. It's never been in the Premier League, but it definitely was a club that unfortunately is on the downward spiral. It has dropped down from the championship into those intermediate leagues A and B, and it is sort of struggling at the moment. Now, it's always, I've sort of rightly or wrongly thought it's kept its head above water, but I don't really know the ins and outs as to what has came to head now, because the manager that was coming in was coming from, he was a coach at a Premier League side.
He was.
And he's came here, which you sort of thought, well, that's, but while it's small regional football, it's a big draw for a town like Banbridge to get that level of manager.
And for people who aren't aware, Banbridge Town had hired a new manager in Dave McCullough.
David, yeah.
About 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Yes, I think it was the start of June.
Yes, and allowed him to bring in 4 coaches with him for the team. They started to bring in some young players onto the books, and after 3 weeks of being with the club, Banbridge Town had to say goodbye to him. They announced he had left. Now, I think it was essentially a case of things that were promised were not there in reality. And I think it was more of a case of, if you want to go, that's fine. I think in the club statement it did say they apologised. Now it's a sad thing to happen.
I don't want to just throw you under or get you in any. Do you know?
I know nothing.
The reason? Okay,
I know some things, but I'm not revealing everything.
Yeah, no, because for me it reads between the lines of, because I've played intermediate league football. I know of coaches, and sometimes they'll come in and there's not a lot of money in this level of football.
No,
but some teams will pay players 30 quid a game or whatever. So there is a certain level of money. And when you're bringing in these younger players who are 17, 18, 19, it's a bit of extra money there that they're in if they're working part-time. Where I'm reading between the lines is he was told he could bring in his coaches and bring in players and maybe pay money, but the money wasn't there.
No, I think...
So I think maybe he was misled. Maybe.
Well, I think so, because from what I understand, because I missed the AGM. I can't remember why, but I missed it. But I got most of the details from it. Now, the AGM, essentially, manager was hired. A day later, chairman of the club stepped down, treasurer of the club stepped down, and the club has formed an emergency committee who have looked at the books, and the books do not look good. They are in terrible financial trouble. Newry City hosted a friendly with Banbridge Town, a fundraising friendly, which was very nice of them. Fantastic. I think it was a £5 minimum donation for fans to go and watch the game, and or just to donate if you didn't want to come. And I think it's a terrible thing. I mean, I do know that the club will survive, but it is going to survive on a very different business model. The only advantage, I think, from this season for anyone who doesn't know what's happening in Northern Irish football, which would be quite a lot of people in Northern Ireland sometimes, this season is pretty much a bye season for the club, thankfully, because of the restructuring. There is no relegation this season. So it
couldn't have happened at a better time.
It couldn't have happened. It really could not have happened at a better time. But yes, so we have hired a new manager in Robbie Rock.
Yes.
Who has taken over the reins this week. Hopefully gets a good turn out of us for this season and just keeps us ticking along, because as we say, we just need to muddle through this season, and good luck to him.
Is there any word of what the size of the hole is it needs fixed, or what sort of sizable donation or anything that
if you've won the lottery recently, that would help.
Yeah. Well, you'd like to think that.
Look, I think if you are from Banbridge, you should really support your local clubs.
Yeah.
And I say clubs because we're all from Banbridge. It doesn't, you don't want one failing, because if one fails, then.
Well, there was a time, like I grew up playing rugby for Banbridge, and there was a time where, Banbridge had strong rugby, football and hockey team. Now, they still have strong hockey team and they still have a decent rugby team, but there was always times I would go down and my coach, Duffer Dodds, would be down at Chinny Park watching the football. So it wasn't an exclusive thing that they stayed away from each other. I think football is one of those sports that I think is more. I don't like anything else, but I think with hockey and rugby, they would. So I think a great town should have. Doesn't have to be winning everything, but they have successful teams. And for me, that was. I started playing rugby from 5 the whole way up to under 18 and then playing on the teams there. So it's a community.
It's an important part of the community, and I would hate to see it go. And I think everyone should hate to see it go.
Yeah.
But I do have confidence that with a new business model and new eyes looking after the club, that hopefully it will navigate this season and correct whatever's been going wrong for a significant period of time.
Well, here's hoping. I think then going forward, they maybe will have to, cut their cloth accordingly budget-wise, but also find ways of bringing more money in, which will help with the stability, because, they're not going to, it's not a Wrexham situation here where they're going to be moving up the leagues. You just want them to be confident that they're going to be in the league season after season, just, don't be surviving, but, not worrying about the future.
Exactly. So we're going to move on from Banbridge Town Football Club, and we're going to move to the Women's Euro Final, which I thought was fantastic. But I would, because I have this accent and people think I'm English. So
you're German.
I'm not even German.
But what are those lederhosen for?
Because
I just like the feel.
Well,
I hate to do this because this should be all about the football and the result and winning €2 on the bounce. What do you make of Joey Barton being an absolute knob?
I don't want to talk about Joey Barton. It's nothing to do with him. Nothing to do with him.
You just wonder, what is his... Why?
I could tell you it's the same with Trump. Tiny toddler syndrome.
TTS?
Well, who cares? Who cares what Joey Barton thinks? If you are somebody who thinks, oh yeah, Joey Barton's right, I'm sorry, you're not for me.
No, 100%.
You're not for me. Go away. Get your head back into your hole.
Yeah. Do you think this will cement not cement, but what's the next level that this win will do? Because obviously after the last Euros, which was 20... Well, hold on. It was done weird
for you. It was COVID. Let's not talk about years. Let's just ignore the COVID. Years,
because it was 3 years ago, wasn't it?
It was something weird.
Yeah,
because it was still the Euros, whatever year it was, but it wasn't played in that year. It was like so.
When you do that, you saw the growth in the game in the women's game.
Yeah.
Do you think that this will push on, or do you think there's a limit or a ceiling that they need something else to break through? Do you need help, as in more TV money?
Well, of course. I mean, more money is always going to help.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen that in football. We've already kind of seen this with the invention of the Premier League.
Yeah.
Football.
Well, in the first season, it was the same league, only they polished it a bit.
Italia 90, the interest in football, in English football, skyrocketed after the semi-final.
Yeah.
And then, just so happened, a couple of years later, the Premier League is now formed, and TV money, Sky, more access to games, and you saw the growth of the game.
Yeah.
And we've seen the growth of the game. Look at it now. And now we are starting to get that slowly but surely with the women's game, with more access to it. People are able to watch more games.
Yeah. They
need to, in my opinion, figure out a more consistent time slot for those games, because sometimes it's...
So if on a Sunday at 4
on a Sunday at 4, there's a game, or Sunday at 3, or Sunday, or Saturday at 3, which obviously isn't going to happen because of the ridiculous, law that says you can't watch games at 3 o'clock.
Attendances will
because attendances would drop.
Yeah.
So we're not going to have it. We're going to make a law that says you can't watch games at 3 o'clock on the TV. Yeah.
No. Well, everyone else is,
and everyone else is, and yet, anyway. So it can only do good. I mean, I'm watching the news reports after, the morning after, and all these journalists at random schools or footballing, soccer schools, soccer camps, and all these girls who are loving it, and little boys as well.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing as well. So it's not just about football, it's about society.
Mm-hmm.
That can only help. I just thought it was a brilliant final for excuse me.
I think for the neutral, I know it's completely irrelevant, but England-Germany would have been, it would have been...
Beat them, done that.
No.
Beat them, done that. They've had their time. Thank you very much. We needed to beat someone else, and we did, and it's Spain.
I know.
And Spain have had a fantastic tournament.
Yeah.
Brilliant, again, but just... I don't know what it is about this England side under Wiegman. They just do not give up. And the stories that keep coming out about these brilliant women. I mean, you've got Lucy Bronze, who's played the entire tournament with a fractured tibia. Now, I'm sorry. You've got players in the Premier League who, if they have an ingrown toenail, that's it. You won't see them for months. If Call of Duty comes out, that's it. They're mysteriously injured. Lucy Bronze has played an entire tournament with a fractured tibia.
Yeah.
And, her middle name is Tough.
I think there's what you're saying about the under the manager. It comes, like, she comes across as someone that you don't mess with, and, it's find a way. But I think more importantly than that was using Roy Keane's line. They're all interesting characters themselves as individuals, but they work together as a team.
Yeah.
When you're watching, thinking, I don't really know who that is. I don't really like. They are becoming household names.
Absolutely.
In regards.
Look at Chloe Kelly, who in the last tournament was a winner, an icon. Shirt off.
Yeah.
Twirling it around. Iconic image. And this last season, she said herself she felt she was being messed around by Manchester City.
Yeah.
They refused to sell her to a club that she wanted to go to. She just wanted to be happy again, as she said herself. Transfer to Arsenal, becomes a Champions League winner.
Yeah.
And becomes a winner in this tournament.
I know.
Hannah Hampton, who was a striker, became a goalkeeper. She was diagnosed with an eye condition which meant her depth perception. She didn't have it. She had to train herself to pour any sort of glass of liquid.
Yeah.
That is brilliant. And then you've got Manchester United's own Ella Toone, who in September lost her grandfather. That affected her. And it was revealed today that on the day of the final, her grandmother passed away. And you've just got all these brilliant stories of these players. And it's the same with players from other teams. I mean, I've mentioned before about Berger, the German goalkeeper, who had to bounce with thyroid cancer. Those narratives can only help build the game.
Yeah. And I think with the game growing, you did look at the likes of the last tournament. One of the biggest characters you had there was Mary Earps, who obviously played for United for a bit.
Yes.
We're now at a stage where she was a big name, but couldn't get in, but is not there anymore. So I think that that in itself helps the game grow whenever you have so much sort of fight for positions.
But also the narratives with these players, and the more you learn about them, the more relatable they are.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of these players are far more relatable than the male.
Like any males, yeah.
You know, and that's something that, personally, for me, people should gravitate towards.
Yeah. They're more normal.
Well, yeah.
You know, they're not millionaires kicking a wall about who, you know, very few of those players now in the male game where you can relate in any way, shape or form, because they're all molded the same now to be these athletes as opposed to humans playing a sport.
Yep. And also, let's not forget, the entire tournament was replete with different tactical systems, different tactical plans of all types. You had Spain, of course, who kept possession to about 70%, I think, for most of the tournament. And England, who I think in the first game tried to control possession, and then in the second game went, yeah, let's just play to our strengths. Ball down the channels, run after the blooming thing, absorb pressure and break.
Yes.
And never give up. And they did, and it's fantastic. Fantastic. What a brilliant tournament. I loved it. Far more entertainment than you could possibly have from the Club World Cup.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents.
I concur. The Club World Cup, 15 minutes is all I saw. I honestly mean this. This isn't saying this for. I didn't know Chelsea won it.
No, but they didn't. Donald Trump won it. He has the trophy at home and he's got a winner's medal.
Again, I missed all this until after. This is how much. I don't know whether whoever's in the social media companies are avoiding it reaching people's algorithm, but I wasn't seeing any of that on my algorithm for any social media, on Facebook, Instagram, or anything. It was only after the Trump thing, like about a day later, did I see. I went, oh, one, I didn't know when the final was, and two, I went, oh, Chelsea won that, and then I saw the whole like, what's Trump doing there?
You've also just admitted you didn't listen to this podcast about the final.
What date was that one?
My God.
What date was that one?
I'm astounded and I'm scanded, and we're just going to move straight on.
I listened to the first 2.
Oh my good Lord, no.
What date was the final?
Good grief. I'm not here to tell you about your own show.
I'm asking you what date was the final?
I don't know. I can't remember what the final was. I just know that I just reported on it.
But I'm always sure that the final was after the second episode.
No, I talked about it.
I don't know if you did.
I did.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I even titled the episode referring to it.
World Cup.
From Euro thrills to Trump's trophy snatch. What would I be talking about Trump's trophy snatching for?
Well, I didn't know if that was a secret word for his area.
No, it was playing his, you can grab them by the, and they'll let you. And he did.
That was the 21st of July. I didn't. That's the third one.
Yes.
I only listened to the first 2. I told you that.
I don't know how many I did.
3.
Well, I don't know.
Stop making me doubt myself. Only I should do that.
Well, hold on. So you didn't listen to all of them? I mean, that's even worse.
Well, it's not, because I told you I listened to 2.
Oh,
stop trying to...
Talking about Trumpland, Manchester United are over there. Training in fancy new cold jackets.
Jackets with ice cubes in it?
Yeah, it's a new invention.
I know, yeah.
It's a new invention, apparently. I've never heard the like, but it's new.
It's like, what will we have? I can sell those ice jackets to the Eskimos. Do you know what our PR team is? It's Champions League level amazing. This was all over, like, where they're trying these new jackets, these new Adidas Coles. Like, does that make them play any better?
Well, they've kicked off the Premier League Summer Series in style. 2-1 win over West Ham at the MetLife Stadium.
Which I was watching it on Saturday. I came home early from the bar because I was going to have an early night. Jet lag kicked me right in the arse, and I goes, I'm going to stay up and watch this while I was having a couple of beers. And I thought we played all right. Again, I'm going to caveat all of this. It's pre-season. It means absolutely nothing. We were amazing at pre-season under Van Gaal and amazing under Ten Hag. Then the first game happened and we're like, oh,
Well, we weren't amazing in pre-season under Ten Hag.
We
last
were.
season.
The first, no, yeah, but his first season, we were like, he's playing formations I don't even know how to describe. And then we had our first game and in our second game, and the proverbial hit the bed. So I'm keeping an open mind and everything. But one thing I will say, even though it is pre-season, it is good to see that even in a slower paced pre-season game, we seem to be keeping shape better. There seems to be something there that position roles, not to the degree of the Mourinho, you can only go up to this level, you're not allowed past this bit, but there seems to be they're working as a cohesive unit wherever the ball is on the pitch.
Well, I think
that's positive.
We beat Bournemouth last night.
It was last night, yes,
wasn't it?
It was last night.
Or this morning.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
Well, yeah,
yes.
It was this morning.
Well, it was this morning. Whatever it was. 4-1, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And from what I could see, and I know you love these things, but I do think it helps illustrate the difference in United so far in pre-season, that the players with the most touches in the opposition box have been our wing-backs, Dorgu and Ahmad.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's very telling, because if you look back in the Raz team from Sporting Lisbon, that's pretty much on point.
We know that's how he wants to play.
That's how he wants to play. So, and Dorgu has looked really fit, really up for it. I'm getting kind of Evra vibes at the minute, in terms of came in January, played all right.
Takes a,
and now he's going to have a pre-season behind him, and hopefully he takes the Premier League by storm. Hopefully, he's 20. I thought he was most impressive when he came in last January.
Yeah, January.
Last season. I think that's going to help, and I think more Ahmad plays in that position. I mean, he's just a dangerous player anyway.
Ahmad,
he's just a dangerous player, and Lenny Yoro behind him. I mean, he's been very good.
I think the thing about Ahmad, where you have, there's an attacking threat.
Yes.
So playing that way, the wing was trying to get the ball obviously up, touches in the box, whereas Dorgu may not have the same thing as Ahmad. Ahmad has a couple of options of looking for a pass, crossing, or dropping the shoulder and going round, because he has the pace to beat. So the defender has to be on their toes, not knowing what's going to happen. Yeah. And as you mentioned there with Lenny Yoro, like, he's not shy of a bit of pace. So it's looking good. It's just after the car crash of last year, it's hard to think with the two signings that we have much of a change in the team. But that's only going with that we're then relying on those two coming in. He has trimmed the squad, that's fine, but those players didn't really play last year anyway. It's will an end of season bollocking in for pre-season, like, this will never happen again. A good pre-season, this is what we're doing. Is that enough to change those players?
I think fitness is all important. I mean, from what I can see so far, a lot of the players at the moment look a lot fitter than they have in a while. I mean, Casemiro's come back looking ripped. It's like, what's happened?
No, he's like a third of a man.
It's like, jeepers creepers. Even your cheeks have gone down.
Yeah.
I mean, it really does look like prime Casemiro. They look fitter. The fact that in the two games that I've seen so far, high pressing.
Mm-hmm.
There was definitely moments in the Bournemouth game where all 11 players were camped in Bournemouth's half.
Yeah.
Something that we were not comfortable with at all. I mean, the lines between our defence, our midfield, and everything else was just all over the place. I mean, sometimes our defence was sitting in the disabled section.
Yeah.
Just that bad. I'm not getting carried away. I know it's 2 wins out of 2, but it's all about fitness at this point. It's all about getting the players ready for the start of the Premier League. It's about becoming more coherent under Amorim.
Yeah.
Højlund scored. That's nice.
Yep.
So
I told you, last night we were at the cinema, and in our group chat, I am adamant there is a player in Højlund.
You are adamant?
I am adamant. And then you put up that image, the info tab thing about the strikers, and Højlund is on there.
Well, ridicule is nothing to be scared of, so let's talk about the striker situation, which is also absolute lunacy. We have chosen to go for either Watkins or Sesko. From what I understand, Sesko is nudging forward. What do you think?
Again, we briefly touched on this last night. I'm torn because I think the Sesko scenario is a little bit like we're banning another Hoyland, not proven in Premier League, done decent where he's been. Watkins is only 29.
29, yeah.
29. But he's done it in England. So if you were looking at a safer bet as such, Watkins is Premier League tested. Would he also be the cheaper option?
Well, my problem, would he be the cheaper option if
because what is Sesko, 24?
Sesko's 22.
22.
Sesko's 22. And if you're going to talk about cheaper options, I mean, let's remember that.
No, I'm not saying I want the cheaper option.
But in January, Arsenal had apparently offered Watkins for about 60 million, and Arsenal said no. Now, if Villa are thinking 6 months later, well, that's still the ballpark figure for a man who only Haaland and Isak outscored him last season, and probably Salah. Let's be honest, probably that's a given. I'm not forgetting him. It's just, let's be honest. The man's just ahead of it.
Just
assume Salah's away ahead of most people. But then they're probably asking for that kind of around that same time, around ballpark. Now, the problem is if we manage to get that down as the transfer window comes to an end, if we manage to get down to about 50, 55,
which we won't,
which we won't.
It'll probably go up.
In about 3 years' time, we're going to have to spend that much again on a new striker. Whereas if we spend 75 now on a 22-year-old 6'5" Slovenian who is, he's players under the age of 23, top 5 leagues. He scores goals. Yeah,
Hoyland's there. We're buying the same player. Well, sorry, not the same player. That's a lie. He's taller, so he's a different.
He scored 39 goals in 87 games in all competitions in those 2 seasons, plus 8 assists. Hoyland on this list is
29.
No, 26.
26 goals.
So 26 goals. I don't know. It's not on here.
Oh, okay.
I'm not that well researched.
Sorry.
Good grief. He scored one more than Jude Bellingham.
Yeah, but Jude Bellingham is hugely overrated.
And Florian Wirtz, who scored 34, Jamal Musiala, 33, Bradley Bacola, 26, Hoyland, 26, and Maximilian Bayer, 26 as well. I think it, not to be all economic about it, but at 22 years old, he is...
At 75 million euros, about 65.
He's played more first team football than Hoyland has.
Yeah.
Yes, he's a rough diamond, but he has all the tools there. He's 6'5". He's a physical presence. He does hold the ball up well.
He's closer to like the Xerxes, style,
but he's ruddy quick.
Yeah,
he's very quick. I would say that's probably, if we buy him, that's a striker option that we don't have to worry about for another 5 years.
So, not that I disagree with that. Say this is a two-parter. We buy him. One, what do we do with Hoyland? Is he just they become squad players and they'll play whenever because they can't play all games? And two, not you can guarantee goals, but you're less guaranteed to get the goals in the Premier League than Watkins.
With Hoyland, at the end of the day,
but I believe Hoyland needs any striker. It doesn't matter who we could have Salah. He wouldn't score in our team. We need the people to create the chances.
But we were creating chances last season. We created a lot more chances once the Ra came in, despite the fact we looked an incoherent mess most of the time, but we created loads of chances.
Yeah.
But we couldn't score. Again, I know you hate stats, but our XG, our expected XG, we were underperforming. We were underperforming massively.
Yeah. But there's also a part of that.
And whatever happens, whether we buy Watkins or we buy Sesko, the question of what to do with Hoyland will still be there. Is it a case of selling him, or is it we're buying a striker to take the pressure off him?
Yeah. I wouldn't want to sell him. I really wouldn't. I just think it's too soon because he's shown glimpses. especially under Ten Hag, where he played, and even the start of the season in the Europa League, or run the Europa League, go back and watch his goals. He scored some absolute belter goals. There's goals that he scored that know that he's a goal scorer. He can score goals. It's not that he doesn't score goals. And you can see from that there in the past, and even in the Premier League last season, the striker who has scored the most from, per chance or per, he's high. He just doesn't get enough chances. Back to, he said that we were creating chances. We also had a big issue last season of the chance falling to the wrong player. It was his box. I like him. Bruno skied it. Delo skied it.
Oh, Delo.
No. So for me, that stat, while accurate, could be misleading because I don't think it was falling to the right player. But that's down to the confidence in the squad and the player.
It's also down to what we've had for years is no discernible patterns of play.
Yeah.
Now, I've seen in 2 games so far, I can see patterns of play emerging. And that's what we've needed. We need to be coached better. Hopefully. I mean, again, I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket, but I'm hoping that a good pre-season, a bit more fitness work will help.
Yeah.
And of course, we're out of Europe, so that's more coaching time. So hopefully that will help.
So say we go with a striker there and we say we go with Sesko. Do you think that's us for the transfer market window?
I don't think so. Actually. I mean, we've had news come out in the last couple of days that United are basically saying we don't need to sell to buy another player.
Mm-hmm.
And we already know we are selling players. We are going to be, Garnacho will go by the end of the transfer window. Sancho will go at some point. Palacio, someone has finally started to look at him and remember who he is.
Find out where he is.
Exactly.
Do you play football?
So there are players who we could, who we know are going to go at some point. So I think we will buy a couple of other players. We're still being linked with Javi Guerra from Valencia, 21-year-old midfielder. We've been linked with another attacking midfielder striker. Oh, what's his name? German striker.
Muller?
No,
we haven't bought a new player from Bayern Munich for a while.
No, Nick Woltmeder.
Oh,
from
lovely accent.
From Wolfsburg. We've been linked with him today. I don't know whether we've been linked with him today because Newcastle have been linked with him, and Newcastle just can't get anybody to come. Although apparently
Ramsdale.
Oh well, yes, you've got Ramsdale.
That's 7 goalkeepers.
That's enough goalkeepers to start a union.
Yes,
but they are struggling. I know. Wissa. Apparently, Wissa has requested to leave Brentford's training camp.
Okay,
and this, of course, comes because Newcastle and Tottenham are interested in him. Newcastle are desperate for a striker.
He'll go to London
if you had the choice.
100%.
And that's been Newcastle's problem for years.
Yeah, and that was me even momentarily forgetting that Spurs were in the Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
Money, he's probably going to get similar money wherever he goes because Newcastle obviously are, they're not throwing money or can't throw money. They have to work off within the financial regulations. But I just don't, again, I haven't mentioned my views on Newcastle. I just think it's an uphill sell for any player to go there. The rewards for players, I think, are great because you've become an icon, but it's a tough set. If an agent came to you and said, we can go to Newcastle, this is where they're in the league, they're in the Champions League, or you can be in London, Tottenham Hotspur again is a bigger name draw than Newcastle. And for some, they're in the Champions League this year.
And for someone like Wissa, who
is in London,
living in London, you don't have to there's no upheaval. There's no, your family doesn't have to be uprooted. I mean, he could do the Johan Kabay thing of just constantly flying back and forth like he did at this time. I think with Newcastle, it's, am I going to use this word correctly? I'm not too sure. It's ironic that they've spent a year sorting out their PSR concerns to the point where they have a massive headroom.
Yeah.
This is probably one of the reasons why the Isak issue has come up, because apparently they were negotiating a new contract a while ago when Staveley was still at the club, and she was heavily involved. And apparently she did a lot of work in terms of player relations, making sure that players felt wanted and loved. And Isak was one of those players. And because of what they believe was a PSR concern, that if we're not careful here, we're going to have a problem, they stopped that contract negotiation, kept Isak informed, this is why we're doing it. We are going to visit it back down the line. But, it's either a case of we sell some players that we actually want to sell as opposed to we don't want to sell.
Yeah.
And they've now emerged this season. They've had the best season. They're in the Champions League. They've now got this massive headroom, but they can't seem to get anybody.
Yeah.
And now their prized stallion, if you will, Isak, wants to leave.
He does have term left on his contract, though, doesn't he?
3 years.
So they don't really.
They don't need to sell him.
No, that's so.
Do you risk keeping an unhappy player, even under the threat of dismemberment?
Who is this whole Liverpool? Is Liverpool? Is that where he's going?
Well, I read today that apparently they've got some sort of verbal agreement, but
how much we were talking?
But Liverpool haven't put in any sort of formal bid,
no,
or communicated with the club, from what I understand.
What are the figures that you're talking about?
Well, Isak is currently on about 150k a week.
Yeah,
he's had a good number of seasons now in the Premier League. He's shown that he can do it. He's shown that he can, score goals at any level. In his mind, he can go somewhere and win big trophies and score goals.
He can do.
And if Liverpool are calling, let's be honest, if Liverpool are calling,
no, I know, but
there's
what would Newcastle want? I mean, what's his transfer value? Because I heard things of like 130 million.
Well, they bought him for 160, didn't they? No, sorry, they bought him for 60. So they bought him for 60 million. Sorry, I was thinking of two different things at the same time and basically added when I shouldn't have.
So they want to double their money?
Well,
it just seems a lot of money.
Well, it is a lot of money, but I mean, strikers always cost a lot of money, don't they?
Yeah.
Everyone's looking for strikers. That's why Arsenal finally got Gyökeres. Everyone's looking at striker. We all want a striker. We're looking at striker.
No.
Chelsea are probably still looking at striker.
So what's that?
You're looking at Euros.
Who's he?
I don't know. I don't even know what you're looking
25. 86 games, 54 goals.
According to transfermarket.co.uk, last updated May 30th this year, his transfer value is approximately 120 million euros.
Yeah. No, I've looked there.
Oh.
I think he's played 109 games for Newcastle. He scored 62 goals and 11 assists.
Mm-hmm.
So, that is pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm not going to we're all crap on the stats.
We're all looking for strikers.
Yeah,
and strikers always traditionally cost the most money.
Yeah, it's the toughest thing to do. As for last season,
and Liverpool through their prudence and apparently still having Coutinho money, according to some Liverpool fans.
That is one deep pocket.
That was the funniest thing I've seen. It's like, this Coutinho money is doing us really well now. It's like, how long has he been at the club? We've all forgotten he was at Aston Villa.
I know.
I mean,
I forgot he was at Barcelona.
They didn't sign anyone last season except for Chiesa for about 10, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They've got massive PSR headroom and they've just won the title. So splurge now. You don't have to splurge again, if you will, for another 5 years. Just rebuild as much of the team as you want now with younger, hungrier players. They've got Teka, however you pronounce that name. And Isak would be a good combination for their forward line as well. And, the transfer window, it always makes up wonderful things.
No,
Talk about wonderful things.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go into Matty's mailbox, because we actually have something. Chris Fry brought in
Chris Fry.
the rock god, Screaming Eagles frontman, that is the hairy man that we love so much.
We do indeed.
He asked a question for the podcast. What was your favourite summer transfer window? Mine, Mrs. Fry, has to be 07-08. They all showed promise that first season, but ultimately all fell by the wayside. Now, I'm a bit confused by the all fell by the wayside because, Anderson had a long career.
Yes.
Nani had a good career.
I have been told these names before this podcast. Chris, you had a shocker here. Nani did not fall by the way. I think, unfortunately, with Nani, Ronaldo was at the club at the time, and people thought he was a poorer version of Ronaldo when he was a completely different player. Nani had a great career. I think we would cry out for a player with Nani's ability and passion right now. So the Anderson one I sort of get, but he still had a decent career at United, and Fergie always played him. Like he would have got rid of him, or he would have moved him on quicker. So the first two I can't say I agree with. What's the next one?
Owen Hargreaves.
So fell by the wayside. Probably could have had a longer career, but again, he was made of
glass.
I don't even think as strong as glass. What they use in the props for films?
Sugar glass.
That's exactly what it was made of. So I'll give you that one.
The fact that you were just doing this wrist action of...
I was playing snooker.
Oh, was that what that was? I thought you were milking a cow there.
Yeah.
Then you had Carlos Tevez.
So again, that one, he didn't fall by the wayside. He's just Argentinian, and that's how things end for United with Argentinians. I am going to say it here now. I am not xenophobic in any way, shape, or form.
Well, that's a good start.
I'm not going to, but
sake.
We should stay away from Argentinians. We do not have a good track record with them. Heinz did the same thing. Di Maria, Tevez. Varane didn't do the same thing. It just didn't work for us. I fully expected Martinez. Something's going to happen, and he's going to leave in the same way, wanting to go to Real Madrid.
Okay. Well, what is your favourite transfer window?
My favourite transfer window is where I have it here.
Oh, you have it. Oh, okay.
Because I had to look exactly what year this was. It is the summer of 2010.
Okay.
And 2011. Mainly down to one signing, but that was the summer that we signed Javier Chicharito Hernandez.
Okay.
No, we also signed Anders Lindegaard, and there was another player we signed. But I think from that one, why I think it was my favourite one, it was we'd done the signing before the World Cup, and then we were able to watch the World Cup and see we've got ourselves an absolute cracking player here. So after the World Cup, it was another sort of Fergie's done it again here, because he pushed, and again that's something I think that we miss from our transfer signings. Fergie said, get this done before the World Cup because more people will want him and the price will go up. So it was all signed, seen, delivered beforehand. And I think also Danny Welbeck returned from loan, and he started making some more appearances in the first team. So while it wasn't, a star signing, I think that for me, that summer transfer window is probably my favorite, because I think that's the last time that we signed a player that we sort of had scouted, you hadn't really heard of, and then we saw it in the World Cup going, geez, we've got a player here. And then the next season, I think Hernandez, you can't go as far as legend, but he was an absolute amazing player for Man United. So I think that's probably my favourite one. And he scored the best opening goal for a club that anyone has ever scored, where he kicked the ball off his own face.
You can't beat that, can you?
Yeah, which, hold on to that thought, because later on when we talk about us in America, I'll bring that.
Because I want to get to that. Let's very, very quickly. I'm just going to mention mine.
Yes.
96-97.
Oh, Henningberg?
No, Jesus.
No, when was that?
No, when were you? I don't fucking know.
I thought that was Henningberg.
Don't have time for your ruminations of who it might be and
who am I?
Who are you?
Sorry,
what are you doing? For goodness sake. No, the 96-97 for Man United, it was Teddy Sheringham, Karel Poborski, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Jordi Cruyff, Ronnie Johnson, and Raymond van der Gaal.
That is a quality. Of those players, one maybe underperformed.
You've got Sheringham, Solskjaer.
Long-term, brilliant players.
99.
Yep.
You got Raymond van der Gaal, who was a quality second goalkeeper.
100% brilliant.
And Ronnie Johnson, who was
a brilliant player.
Remarkably underrated, in my opinion. We spent about 16 million quid on that collection of players. I think that's just brilliant.
No, it is. I think you mentioned Cruyff and Poborski. I'm sorry, two players that maybe inverted commas underperformed, but those other, like, those four, the goalkeeper, they're stalwarts in the 99 season, 98-99, the whole season, because it was a squad that is a quality.
And have to be honest, 96-97 is also the year you had brilliant transfers. It was basically a list of who's who in transfers. But let me just go through very quickly for you. I'm going to streak past some of them because I'm streaking past them. I like streaking past them. So Wimbledon FC brought in Ben Thatcher from Millwall. If you're a Championship Manager fan, Ben Thatcher was the man you needed to sign all the time. Sheffield Wednesday brought in Benito Carbone, who was a cracking signing for them.
Yeah.
Massive character. Leicester City brought in Muzzy Izzet and Steve Guppy, who were two stalwarts for that team.
Guppy, that's right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You had Darren Huckabee, went from Newcastle to Coventry City, became a legend there. Newcastle signed Shearer for 18 million.
Yeah.
Nottingham Forest brought in Pierre van Hooijdonk from Celtic, brought in Dean Saunders from Galatasaray, and Nigel Clough from City on loan. You had Middlesbrough. This is the best one for me. Fabrizio Ravanelli.
Oh, yeah.
Coming in for a shade under 10 million. Emerson coming in at 4 million, and
Emerson,
absolutely, and Mark Schwarzer from Bradford for 2.5. That's brilliant.
Schwarzer?
Yeah.
No, I didn't think it was there.
Chelsea, for me, had one of the best ones. Brought in the legend, Gianfranco Zola.
Yes.
For 6 odd million.
That's a great.
Roberto Di Matteo, Frank Leboeuf, Ed De Hoy.
Oh, that was their yellow. Was that their yellow kit season?
And, of course, one of the greatest strikers of all time, in my opinion, Gianluca Vialli, on a free transfer.
That's one window?
One window.
Wow, that might win it.
One window. And that was the year that Arsenal brought in Vieira for 5 odd million, Anelka for one of his first transfers before many, God knows how many transfers they had after that. West Ham brought in John Hartson for 5 million and Paul Kitson and Steve Lomas. That
Chelsea one might get for a selection of players that all of them played really well at the club. Like, it wasn't one, and a couple of legend, like Di Matteo and Zola are.
But I just think that's a brilliant window. Also, the other reason why I love 96-97 is you also had Zidane goes to Juventus for 3.2 million. Djorkaeff went to Inter Milan for 3.6. Toldo joined Fiorentina for 4. That man was a god in goal.
Yeah.
You had original Ronaldo going to Barcelona for 12.8. Rivaldo, La Coruña, 5.5. Suker, Real Madrid, 5. Fanini George, Betis, 5. Romario went to Valencia for about 4. Seedorf went to Real Madrid for 3. It's a cornucopia of a who's who. They changed the course of footballing history for pretty much all their clubs. Brilliant transfer window. We're going to move on because I want to hear about your opinions of the World Cup.
Well, before that, while I was over in America, I dragged the family. I checked every city that I was going to for what sport was on. I couldn't sell a baseball game because it was too long. So I was like, no, we're not going to, because I wanted to go and see Chicago Cubs, but no, it wasn't happening. So we settled on football because just like, it's 90 minutes. And I goes, that's fine. So we settled on Orlando City versus New York City.
Ooh, okay.
And the quality was quite good.
Mm-hmm.
I felt I was cursed because I felt I was watching Manchester United again.
Oh dear.
Because of that game, it was at Orlando Stadium. Orlando were very much in control of the game.
It's the Exploria Stadium, isn't it?
No, it's the Inter & Co Stadium.
Is it? Oh, okay.
I think they might have renamed it.
Oh.
So of the game, Orlando had 26 shots on target to their 11, 8 shots on target to their 4. They scored first, the 36th minute, great goal. It was just like watching United. They couldn't finish their dinner. I turned to Jill and goes, New York's going to score here. New York City scored in the 87th minute an OG and the 91st minute to win it away from home. Now, this won't translate on a podcast. But what I'm showing Graham here is the own goal.
You're going to show me the own goal. You're going to show me the own goal. You're pressing play. There's two teams in pretty much blue-ish. Right. Okay. So to describe that.
It'll show you in a replay, but yeah, describe that.
No one can hear you, not the microphone, you crazy man. So basically, a corner's come in. There's been a bit of hijinks in the corner, gone all the way. Goalkeeper's made a brilliant save. Two players have gone for the same ball from the same team to try and clear it, and one's hit the ball off the other and has gone into the net.
I mean, I turned and went, for sake, it is the worst own goal I've ever seen live. Ever.
Okay.
Because he kicked it so hard against the other player, and the poor player was standing there. He couldn't do anything about it. And then they did the same old, trying to get a winner, breakaway goal 2-1. But I was surprised with the quality was actually quite good. And there was a player who caught my eye.
Oh, okay.
He is Marko Palisic. He's right winger, represents Croatia, but he was born in Germany. So he's 24. He's played for Stuttgart, and then he played for one season with Dortmund, and then went to a team in Croatia, and he's now at Orlando. He's only valued at €4 million. He was brilliant. I was impressed. So I'm going to keep an eye and see whether any other clubs, because I think he could be a great player.
Well, I'm just going to do what I always do when someone recommends a player, load up Football Manager and send a scout.
Yes. Well, actually, do that and come back to me and see whether I have any talent as a scout, as a footballer.
Okay.
Because for me, he was the best player on the pitch. But yes, the World Cup in America, you had asked sort of what I think.
Well, you sent me a text. You sent a text in the group about the MetLife Stadium saying, "I've seen that pitch; it's terrible."
Yes,
which is pretty much the criticism that I've heard from pretty much anybody that's talked about the MetLife Stadium of late. Is that pitch is terrible?
My concern is now that pitch that we were at is in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
The game was scheduled to kick off at 7:30. We don't have this here. It was put back 45 minutes because there was an almighty storm came through, which was majestic to watch outside. We were covered, and then half an hour later, the game kicked off. So I don't know that MetLife. That's obviously, which was quite concerning. That's quite north in America, northeast.
Yes.
So the pitch of Orlando was in great condition. The atmosphere there, it's a different game. I know it's soccer, it's football, it's the same game, but it's from a fan perspective. We were walking in, obviously the New York fans that were there were people that were maybe here on holiday. It's not like we have, let's travel, because it's 23 hours in a car to New York from Orlando, so it doesn't have the same
vibe.
Yeah, with away fans, you have a couple of thousand in there. The stadium wasn't very full. I would say it's probably about half full. But I have to say, their ultras, the ultra section was absolutely bouncing. It was great. And what I thought might annoy me with the flags and drums they were great. That's where all the crack was and everything was starting. Everyone was very friendly, which was really weird. There was no songs, which was slightly disappointing. But I think the MLS will be is different to the World Cup. My fear is it'll be from fan to consumer. I think it's just going to be a transactional World Cup.
I think
and how the fans are.
My thing about America is, whilst the game is growing, and I think it's fantastic, and from what I've seen of the MLS, the quality has exponentially risen. They are keen for soccer. They love it's like a festival vibe. They love the music, love the merch, they love the polos. They love the spectacle of it. I think the only thing is that they still kind of treat it like a fairground attraction. It's not really like
real.
It's not a real. Well, it is a real sport, but it's still kind of treated as a fairground attraction, which I think the World Cup will kind of be. My other concern, of course, is that we've already seen lately in the last week reports of they're going to move certain games to other countries, not America, because of ICE and the threat of, you don't belong here.
Yeah.
So you need to be arrested and thrown into some sort of concentration camp, which we're not calling it a concentration camp.
Yeah.
alligator Alcatraz.
Yeah.
We're calling it different names with alliteration.
I know. I want to make a correction from earlier on at the start where I mentioned Uruguay. That is the next World Cup.
Oh, so it's not the World Cup. It's come. It's just come.
Yeah.
It's just come.
But again, makes it ridiculous because it's Spain, Portugal, Morocco, and a game or two is in Uruguay.
Yeah.
And I understand, but again, this is coming back to I'll off air. I was telling Graham I'm starting to hate football, and this is part of it because I just feel I'm not the target market anymore. And I include Graham into that too, because you're having a World Cup spread against 4 countries. The Americas one is against 3 countries. Granted, they're sort of close together, but the distances are vast. Have it in one country, and just do that. It's going to be for rich people who can fly in and see those games.
It is sad. It is sad to see that's how FIFA are treating the game. But sure, there's only one winner in the come World Cup, and it'll be Donald Trump because he'll be keeping the trophy.
I don't know whether he'll be about.
You just grab that trophy by the base, and they'll let you keep it.
I don't know, but I think it's a shame because what makes soccer big in America is the diverse fan base, because those countries that those people have came from to live in America, football is their main sport, and they get behind their team. Like Orlando, you had which was really funny because their ultras was like something Hammers, so they're linked with West Ham, but there's also one linked with the South American team.
Yes.
But you can see from the chants and the vibes, and obviously the tens of people that go on. It is a Hispanic, not hard everyone's the same, but that different South American countries that they come from. But it'd be interesting to see. I haven't read that article about games being moved. But again, it's. I hope it's not ruined by outside politics and things like that, because the last World Cup I thought had some good quality games in it.
They did,
but everything else is brought into it.
Trump is probably going to introduce tariffs on individual nations' teams. So don't be surprised. That's us. That's our slightly extended edition because
we had a lot to pack in.
We had a lot to pack in, and Henning has returned. So we've gone into our descent into football madness.
Are we into overtime?
Oh, no, don't. So we've gone from everything from Banbridge Town hanging by a thread, but they will survive, to the Lionesses, to United's triumphs and transfer headaches of other teams, and Henning's sweaty US field report.
It was very sweaty.
Very sweaty.
In America.
Very sweaty. Sticky.
And I did see I have to say about him, he is an absolute tube, but Trump has a lot of buildings. I saw Trump Towers in Chicago. There was the one in New York. He spreads himself about a lot, allegedly.
I'm not saying anything. Well,
anyway, it's great to be back. I really enjoyed that.
Does have a tiny penis, though. He can try and sue me for that.
Oh, okay.
Because then just go to court and say, well, drop trow.
Yep.
Go on, prove it.
Have you seen the new South Park episode?
Of course I have. It's hilarious.
I mean,
hilarious.
I didn't think I could laugh as fun. I didn't think it could be as funny as people have said that it was. Watched it.
Hilarious.
I mean,
those, brilliant show. But brilliant show. But we're gonna go. We'll be back next week. We'll be back onto our regular scheduling.
Yes.
And thank you very much. I'm Graham, overwhelmed, undertrained, and emotionally committed.
I'm Chris, just recovering from jet lag, and you're not getting a witty comment.
Well, that's sad.
Sure. Until Man United win 5 games in a row like that guy on Instagram, you'll get no witty comment from me.
Oh dear. Well, that's a real downer. We've got a mailbox. Please email. We've got comment sections. We've got the grok racist thing that
I don't know what that is. I've missed something.
You haven't.
Okay. But yes, get into Maddie's mailbox, because Maddie has asked us to say that, because more questions you have in, even suggestions about topics to discuss, it makes it more interactive.
Wherever you are in the world, we will talk about it.
Ohio,
Hong Kong, that poor guy
in Hong Kong,
who probably fell asleep listening to every episode, has woken up speaking like us and has got the Communist Party chasing his ass,
knocking on his door.
Thank you very much. Good night. God bless. Actually, I don't know why I'm saying good night. You're probably listening to this in the day, but whatever time it is.
Hong Kong,
whatever.
Probably lunchtime.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop recording now. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, that's it for today's episode of Fans United Podcast. Don't forget to follow us on all socials and leave us a 5-star review, unless you're a Liverpool fan.
And remember, please, football is a game of opinions. Ours just happen to be funnier than yours. So see you next time.
Right now, it's